Welcome to episode 3 of FOHQnA. FOHQnA. Fucking A. It's all good. We're smoking a Nerdy's number 1 Lancero, which I'm enjoying. I hope you're enjoying it, Ken.
Oh, I'm having a ball.
Ken's a bit shitty this afternoon, so...
He arrives.
Oh, don't, Ken.
I've had to clean up the ash from here umpteen times. He takes one look at my cigar. Oh, that's no good. Instead of leaving it to be smoked at some other stage, he throws the lit cigar into the kindling next to my house in bushfire season. Well, once Carrie had finished all of that, we struggled on.
God, you worry.
Oh, seriously, you've drunk my... He picked up my glass, drank it. Sorry, I've drunk yours. Then he drinks his.
We're actually doing some Dalmore cigar malt reserve, which is
very good.
Very, very good. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
We've drunk a lot of it.
Speak for yourself. You've drunk yours and mine.
That's the last one, surely to God. Okay, so FOHQnA, episode 3, I understand. It's been a decent success, this.
I have a question. Are you ever going to fix the remote?
I've got the remote done.
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
No, we're good with the remote. Look, that's you there. Look at that.
Yeah, great.
It's all good. Ken, first question this week to you. I gotta get there. Here we go.
Well, the Marauders map hasn't come up yet.
The 5 cigars that you would take with you on a week away fishing with mates to the island you go to. Well, it's just phrase roll and they go fishing. You go. When are you going? Next month?
Next month.
Next month.
Yeah. I take a variety because I know I'm getting to it. Sorry, is there a time limit? That's what you got Steve for, to chip and chop.
No, we don't chip and chop. Just get on with it.
I tried. I take a variety because it'll be different. There might be time for a cigar before dinner, or there might be a long afternoon. So I always used to take up one of the old Montiers or one of the Sancho Panza. I haven't done that for a few years because you'd basically grab a book for an afternoon and spend 3 or 4 hours reading the book and enjoying that. But always 1 or 2 Lucy's or SLR DCs.
Both? You take both up?
It depends how convenient they are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've got any SLR DCs with me at the moment.
So SLR DCs, Lucy's, 3 others.
Probably a couple of PLPCs in case.
Poor Laranaga Petit Corona, but I love him saying Laranaga. What's that?
PLPCs.
Excellent.
Normally take up a few fakes or duds for the scungy mates up there who...
Do you have fake cigars?
I've been buying from you for years.
No, you... Well, I was going to say you don't have fake cigars, do you?
I think I got a couple left from time in
Havana, you bought some
just
back.
for fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't ones that I sort of, oh no, these are fake. These were stuff we bought knowing, on the street or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fair enough. Which we used to do that a lot. I used to enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, you have a good conversation with people, have a few beers with them, they offer you a box of this, we know they're fake, we go back to their place, they give us things, it's all good.
I might take 1 or 2 limited editions if I'm feeling like something.
Favourite LE?
Oh, favourite LE. You'd go back to some of those around the very early ones.
2 3s, 3
3s.
HCM Pyramids.
4s with the Sublimes, although I haven't taken those for years.
Yeah.
And Ramonalon Estupendos.
Ramonallones Estupendos.
Those, Home Alone Estupendos. Those, yeah, so that's a mix.
Done. Easy. So top end of town stuff when you go away fishing, except for the PLPCs,
Might take some Upman 46s as well.
I love those.
Yeah.
Okay. Rob, you seem to get on well with many of the other retailers. Is this normal practice? Do you share information about industry meetings?
He hasn't burnt their house down. They're still getting on well.
And share information among clients? Really? Not really. I do get on well with most retailers around the world and distributors, to be honest. And I think politeness costs nothing. And most of these people are really, really good people. Sharing information, unless we know that someone is a fraud or someone is doing something, we don't. But we do share information on guys who do defraud. We do. Because I know if it happens to me, it's going to happen to someone else next week. So we do share that information amongst retailers and industry, and it's worked well over the years, and they'll share the information with me. That's no problems at all. Ken, do you have a most embarrassing cigar moment?
Oh, other than the house going up in flames.
Oh, no. Oh, we told you about the time.
Oh, the flames, actually, the flames reminded me. Yeah,
the time in Havana. Oh, classic story, still told around the world. Those within the trade. Tell the story.
We got invited to a champagne and cigar event. At which,
Suckling did it.
Yeah, Suckling was doing it. At which
James, I hope you're well.
there was a he did it very well. And he was not responsible for the disasters, but it started off okay. We're ready to go to this champagne and cigar thing, so we rock up to the National. Unfortunately, no one had told us it wasn't at the National, so that wasn't a real good start. No, we went somewhere else and it was at the National.
We went to the Meliakuiba.
That's it. That's
and then we came back to the National where it really was.
And that was a complete nightmare because there was a storm and you couldn't get along the Malecon.
We're all dressed up, yeah. This is 60 people?
Oh, at least more.
Maybe more. And they had film crews from around the world and this little event there. And
With remember the taxi that got us there?
Yeah, yes.
We hop in this taxi. Right, quick, get us there as fast as possible. $10. And we're going, no, that's too much. $4. $10. $4. $9. $6. $5. Yeah, we'll take it at $5. And then he reverses. And you know how trucks and things have the beep, 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 beep when they're reversing? Not this guy. The Lambada. The car goes into reverse and it starts playing this foghorn Lambada all around the streets.
I love it.
We race around, we race in desperately, plop down, it's just pouring the champagnes. I can't remember the name of the champagne house.
It was vintage champagnes, I understand, because we had a lovely speech by the guy who provided the champagnes. Thank you so much. I think he was from, forgive me, Croatia, Serbia, somewhere there.
Romania, something like that.
And he was saying you should only smoke vintage champagne with
drink.
Only drink vintage champagne with vintage cigars. Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, that's
edition limitada and vintage champagne.
But it was good champagne. I'd say drink good champagne.
Yeah, but naturally we automatically thought wanker, blah blah. But no, very well done. Very, very well done.
They were quite old vintages too, which is
no problem.
I've never seen them again.
Kenny Kenny writes copious notes when he's doing his tastings, and he's really dressed up. He looked very.
Well, we're all in suits because we were told to.
James Bondish, yeah. They had this beautiful ash.
Monty Sublime.
Beautiful ash on his cigar, on his Sublime there, and he's got his best Hemingway look, Bond look there, and the camera zoomed in on him.
It was this girl from a Spanish magazine or something. She came around, I was at the end of one row, and I'm standing with this ash, and she has taken 200 photos, seriously. Click, 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 and I'm trying to look as though I'm not noticing anything.
You're trying to look debonair.
I'm trying not to notice the camera and all of this.
Super smooth. You've never seen this guy so super smooth.
I've got no idea what happened to the photos.
And she goes away.
She just walks away.
And the ash drops on Ken's notes.
Whooshka!
I've never seen it happen before. Never ever seen this happen before.
Thank Christ it didn't bloody happen today.
His notes catch on fire. And he's gone from James Bond to Mr. Bean in an instant.
He's trying to throw water and
Suckling's looking at us and I'm just going, it's all him. So they're putting it out.
James didn't even notice.
Oh, nuts.
James didn't even notice.
Nuts. We still talk about it today.
Oh, you told him, and that's the first he heard of it.
That would be the most embarrassing moment in the world of cigars.
It's up there.
It's up there, but it probably isn't the final 2 or 3.
I'd need time to think about it. He won't give me the questions beforehand because he doesn't want me to be prepared. He can't ambush me.
Rob, if you were to do a blind tasting of current production cigars from 5 cigars, how many would you pick? I'd be seriously impressed with myself if I picked 2 out of 5. And that's what...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'd be seriously impressed with myself if I picked 2 out of 5. You know, I'm amazed that in the blind tastings that we've had over the years, the FOH International blind tastings, the guys have picked 3 and 4 out of 5. I think that's brilliant.
I reckon I could get the Partagas Calibra. Not many others.
I reckon you'd struggle. Even on that one there. Go to. Rob, the most fascinating person that you have met in the cigar industry. That's easy. That's Simon Chase. Is spending time with Simon Chase, the dearly departed Simon Chase. Too few. I should have spent far more time with Simon.
Well, that's
I just
easy said than done.
In retrospect, I should have made the time. I should have made the flights or whatever done. But I've never learned
Plus,
so
he didn't
much.
like
I just enjoyed it so much, and I learnt so much from that.
I'd say
from those
Hamlet.
interactions.
I reckon Hamlet.
Hamlet is,
for me, he's been. I haven't seen Hamlet for a few years now, but he was always so helpful. So much fun.
I've spoken to Hammy twice in the last 4 days, and I rang him late at night 4 days ago. Just finished a function, and he went through me like you wouldn't believe. Yeah,
that's why I like him.
On the Nudies project.
I like him.
Went through me because I hadn't done this. Then I realised halfway through he was actually pissed. So it was good. It's okay. And I spoke to him this morning.
The odds
I
are.
spoke to him this morning. He's in Germany at the moment. And he was absolutely fine. But no, Nudies out at the end of this month, early next month. So actually smoking. These are smoking really well. Oh, that's so unfair.
Yeah.
That's so unfair.
We actually started to do a review, but he cut it off because we
had so many disasters. We started a fire. It was just nuts. Ken, cigars frowned upon in the are cigars frowned upon in the wine judging fraternity?
Oh, judging? Well, I mean,
do you believe that smoking cigars impedes your ability to judge wine?
I don't smoke enough for that, and I wouldn't smoke one before I was going in to judge at all. I might have one in the evening after judging. But look, there was a famous old. I remember talking to Bruce Tyrrell years ago, and he said a lot of the old judges, they used to smoke like chimneys, not cigar, or they probably smoked cigars as well, but cigarettes and things. And one of them gave up.
Really?
And he couldn't. He had to take it back up again because his palate was so calibrated to it. Once he stopped, he didn't have a clue. He couldn't pick anything. He said, "This is hopeless. I've got to go back to cigarettes." Now that's extreme. Now, look, there's a few guys that enjoy a cigar. A few winemakers as well. I did. We had doing a thing with Egon Muller in Germany, and he fired up a cigar in the middle of the tasting. It was an outdoor tasting, which I just loved, and sent some of the sommeliers. Got very, very agitated about this.
Really?
Well, given it was his wines, his place, his cigars, I think he was entitled. But I did have one guy. I won't name him. We were doing a tasting, McLaren Vale wines. It was a small room in a restaurant down the bottom in the basement. It was a small room, and there were about 6 or 8 of us crammed into this thing. And he has fired up a cigar. Now, I don't know what he was smoking, but seriously, it stank. I mean, I don't mind, the smell of a good cigar would have been difficult in those seasons. But this thing, we had tears, and we were going, how do you... he said, they're my wines, I'll smoke a cigar. This is back when you were allowed to smoke in places like this. We couldn't taste a thing. It was just
It's a good
horrendous.
place for the forum. I put up on the weekend. I mean, can you have a poor aroma out of cigar and a good flavour?
Oh, look.
So in other words, can you have a putrid aroma in a cigar and a good flavour?
If you've got a putrid aroma, I don't believe you're going to get a good flavour. It's just not going to happen. I don't think
so either. But actually, I'll put that out there because it's an interesting topic.
You can't. I mean, if you equate it to wine, 99 times out of 100, when you smell the wine, you are well down the track of what it's going to go on to be, what you're going to taste, etc. Because a lot of your taste is effectively smell anyway, because you're tasting what is it, sweet, sour, bitter, acid, umami. That's what your taste does.
Yeah.
The flavours come from what you smell. So when you smell the thing, 99 times out of 100, you're already along the line of the flavours. It's just occasionally you will get one and go, wow, that didn't come out when I smelled it. It's come out subsequently. But it's not common.
Fair enough. Rob, given the way the world is going in terms of cigars and smoking in general, would you embrace a career in cigars? Because I'm thinking about really going down that track. You'll need to... would I start again? Would I start my cigar business again in today's environment?
At this stage in your life?
Well, I couldn't have started it the same way I started it. It's now 20 odd years in. So while it's a difficult... You need to do it differently. You need to do it vibrantly. You need to be quite special in how you're going to undertake it.
That would depend also on location.
Location.
Very much location.
Location. I think you need to be relatively global these days. I don't think that you can. You couldn't start a cigar business in our town. It's impossible. And in most towns around the world, it'd be a massive issue. It'd be a difficult one in Canada that now plain packaging coming in, etc. That I think you need to take a global view But then again, you would need to have the resources or access to the resources and a plan to achieve that outcome. I mean, so it is very, very difficult. So
Did
overall,
that question come out of Melbourne?
no.
Oh,
No,
I thought that might be your mate in Melbourne.
No,
wanting hints.
This one, no, this one came out of the US, and the US follows the rest of the world's cigar trends. When I say follow, I don't mean that in terms of, I mean, you're a leader in, the US is a leader in cigar trends in terms of types of cigars. Look what's coming out of Habanos today, in terms of bands, in terms of gauge, etc. There, but when it comes to legislation and regulation, the US is very much a follower. The rest of the world's going through massive regulation in terms of cigars and smoking. We have to be smarter. We have to be sharper. We need to make mid to long term plans. If you have those skill sets, or you really enjoy the cut and thrust of that part of the industry, sure. But
you'd really want to have your market planned out. I mean, if you went into it without
Kenny, plans. I mean, planning's one.
Whether you're talking travel retail, whether you're talking local bars and clubs, whether you're talking internet consumers like say this thing.
Well,
I
was just talking before I arrived today. I was on the phone with a US online retailer who's mostly ex-Facebook, etc. He's doing exceptionally well. And carving a nice niche for himself, and yes, there are niches you can carve, but you need to have some cojones to achieve those outcomes and have the technical ability to execute it. So, Ken, you're a lover of animals. If you were to get a pet, what would it be?
Well, my last pet was a scorpion. Thank you, David Attenborough. You killed it. I had a
well, pets resemble their owners, yeah. So, sorry, you go.
Sitting next to the electric eel of the cigar world.
So,
no, I mean, look, I'd love to have. Where I am, it's just pretty much impossible for a dog. Something. If I move somewhere else, I used to breed finches when I was younger.
He can barely look after himself. He got a dog. If he got a dog, I'd ring the RSPCA.
Oh, I didn't run over. I've never run over a dog. Jeez, if you don't mind, pot kettle. The scorpion was going nicely until I saw a David Attenborough thing where it showed the scorpion feeding on a centipede. And I found a centipede, so I put it in for a bit of food. I'd had the thing for 5 years. Didn't last 5 minutes with the centipede.
They eat scorpions.
Well, on David Attenborough, the scorpion ate the centipede. Killed the centipede, and that didn't last at all. Wacko. The poor old scorpion was in bits. I used to call it Stuart Broad.
Who's a cricketer?
Mm.
Yeah. Why did you call it Stuart Broad?
Well, I caught it during an Ashes series, and he is a dislikable human being, and so I thought, well,
that's enough.
So I called him Stuart.
Rob, what's next in nudies? We've got the Lancero and the Carlotta coming up later on this year. We're looking on a something similar to a Flying Pig for next year, and we're looking at different wrappers. We're well and truly into blending for next year. Hamlet's back from Europe in about 3 weeks. I'll fly to the US early next year, then we'll fly to Central South America and play with a bit of tobacco, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so something a bit thicker gauge. We've got 2 thin gauge cigars, 1 thicker gauge cigar, but not too long. I want something you can which is accessible and you can smoke within an hour and a half.
You asked yourself that, didn't you?
No, people are interested. I've got no idea why. Ken and Rob, have you ever thought about a Havana USA wine tour? No.
Oh,
you've come up with a good idea though.
We've thought about a rum tour. Around the Caribbean, ending up in Cuba. Also fishing tours and things. Thought of wine tours elsewhere. And we've still got to have that lunch to talk about that. But
we could certainly do a rum tour. You said you could do you can get the rum.
I reckon
rum makers
given to me by the idea was given to me by a mate of mine.
So where would we go? We'd say land in the US. We'd go where?
You'd land wherever, but you'd bounce around the Caribbean. And given the problems with the Cuba and the US, you may not even land in the US. You may just go straight down to somewhere around the Caribbean, and you can bounce around to Barbados, Bahamas, what's left.
Trinidad. Guatemala.
Well, Guatemala's one for Zacapa.
Zacapa. I mean, I'd love to do a cigar rum tour, including Zacapa.
Something like, I mean, I'd love to go and
Republic.
visit a place like FOHQnA,
Yeah.
because they're a serious rum producer. I mean, I'm sure they do tours and that, but if you've got a serious group together, I reckon that'd be a shot.
I'm going to leave that one with Ken to organise. Ken and our good mate Stan to organise. Stan's a travel agent.
People are interested. Put something up on the forum and see
Put
what's the
something up.
response.
We're happy to do something. I mean, I'm not going to organise it. I mean, Kenny, I can organise the Havana Stein, but I'll leave it up to Kenny, who can barely organise lunch. So
Oh, you are kidding, aren't you?
I'd
Seriously.
struggle. I don't think. If I was to put money on this, I would be putting a lot going forward.
I end up having to organise tours and stuff for my mates. I see no reason why I can't do it for myself.
Okay, well then, put up on the forum if you want to put together a cigar and
Something
rum
like that's
tour.
not
Cigar
cheap.
and rum tour.
It's not cheap, but you know,
It's not cheap for us because we're going to fly a lot. But for guys out of the States or even guys out of Europe, flying in the Dominican Republic or
by
flying
the time
in
they pay our exorbitant fee, it becomes extremely expensive.
Aren't we paying our own way?
No, don't be ridiculous.
We'll be back next
Have you
week
not learned the
on
principle?
FOHQnA. We give you an insight into the sheer capitalism of this operation. Surely we're not going to take money out of that, are we?
Are we still on?
Till next week. I look forward to Sachi. Well, the time this goes up, I'll be in Europe, so I hope to catch up with some of you there. Take care. Cheers.